our studio in Kuching, Sarawak, this is TVS Nightline. You'll be Douglas Elliott, and let's begin with our top story. Sarawak Chief Minister Dato' Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg today confirmed the dissolution of the Sarawak State Assembly to make way for the 12th state election to be held within a 60-day period. During a media conference held at Wisma Bapa, Malaysia this morning, Abang Johari said DUN Speaker Dato' Amar Muhammad Asfiah Awang Nasar would inform the Election Commission officially on the matter. Commenting further, Abang Johari said an election is necessary to get the people's mandate to form a new state government. As such, the PRN should be held to guarantee the right of the people of Sarawak to elect a government democratically in accordance with the practice of parliamentary democracy. However, the chairman of Gabungan Party Sarawak, GPS, said they were not in a hurry to hold an election, as public health remains a top priority.
In order to hold true to our oath to preserve and protect the Constitution of the State of Sarawak and the Federal Constitution and safeguard the rights of the people to choose their own government, the GPS government feels that it would be a betrayal to that oath if the GPS government were to hang on to power under the veil of a state of emergency, whereas the people's mandate to govern had expired. Despite this, we also realize that the health and safety of the people of Sarawak is paramount. Therefore, in coming to this decision, we have had careful and constant engagement with the health authorities and other stakeholders in order for the election to be held with all the necessary standard operating procedures SOP in place, and the rates of COVID vaccination has achieved a level which would be acceptable by the authorities for the election to be conducted safely.
The media conference was also attended by a lineup of leaders from each component party of Gabungan Party Sarawak, namely Pusaka Bumiputra Bersatu (PBB), Parti Rakyat Sarawak (PRS), Parti Rakyat Bersatu Sarawak (SUPP), and Parti Democratic Progressive (PDP). And Gabungan Party Sarawak, or GPS, has already identified and discussed the allocation of seats among its 4 component parties for the upcoming state election. However, its chairman, Dato' Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg, said it was still too early to reveal the coalition's list of candidates and that he would announce it at a later date.
You see all of us here?
Ha? Tunggu loh, baru jadi so. Jangan rush gila, ada orang kata don't rush. No, we don't rush.
On October 24th, GPS Secretary General Dato' Sri Alexander Nantalinggi said GPS will contest in all 82 seats in the next state election. GPS comprises Parti Pusaka Bumiputra Bersatu (PBB), Parti Rakyat Sarawak (PRS), Sarawak United People's Party (SUPP), and Progressive Democratic Party (PDP). Meanwhile, Abang Johari said the current GPS government is currently assuming the role of a caretaker government until the next government comes in. He added that GPS could not make any major decisions and must only run the state as it is. The long wait for the Muslim community in DARO to have their own mosque in the area is finally over, as the construction of the Al-Muhsinin Mosque in DARO has at last been completed. The mosque, which costs 9.5 million ringgit, can accommodate up to 1,635 people at a time and will be a unification icon to bring the community in DARO closer.
Sarawak Governor Yang di-Pertua Negeri Sarawak Tun Pehin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud officiated the mosque and performed the congregational Friday prayer with the residents in DARO. Tun Taib's arrival was welcomed by DARO incumbent Safi Ahmad, IGAN Member of Parliament Ahmad Joni Zawawi, and Kuala Rajang incumbent Datu Len Talif Saleh. Also present at the officiating ceremony was Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg, Assistant Minister of Infrastructure and Ports Development Dato' Julaihi Narawi, Assistant Minister of Corporate Affairs and Sarawak Public Communication Unit Dato' Abdullah Saidol, Tanjung Manis Member of Parliament Yusuf Abdul Wahab, and other guests of honour. The mosque is equipped with a variety of modern equipment, including a lecture room that can accommodate 142 people, a mortuary, a dining hall, and an office. The construction of the mosque began 2 years ago, where the groundbreaking ceremony took place in April 2019.
At the same function, Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg announced that DARO incumbent Safi Ahmad will defend the seat in the next state election, describing him as honest and trustworthy in helping the rakyat.
Saya belum lagi masa untuk saya menamakan calon kerana saya mesti berbincang dengan KGPS, tetapi kuasaan DARO ini adalah diwakili oleh PBB dan saya melihat bahawa wakil di DARO ini telah bekerja dengan baik, jadi tidak salahlah kita untuk mencalonkannya semula dalam pilihan raya akan datang.
The DARO constituency was established in 2005 and was first contested in 2006 during the 9th state election. In the last election, Safi won with a majority vote against Parti Amanah candidate Ibrahim Bayau.
Parti Pusaka Bumiputra Bersatu, or PBB grassroots leaders and supporters have been told to get ready and make their preparations for the upcoming state election. Its Deputy President, Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Umbas, said the election will present a new set of challenges. Uga, who is also Sarawak Deputy Chief Minister, said this was because it would be held as the state is still battling COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, he said there would be a number of restrictions in place, unlike previous elections, such as no mass gatherings for campaigning purposes. On the election front, Uga said the standard operating procedures would be decided by the Health Ministry and the Election Commission. Uga, who is Bukit Saban incumbent, said he believed the voters in Saribas would again make the right decision in this election, noting that the people in Saribas have always been very supportive of the government in past elections. And Parti Rakyat Sarawak, or PRS, will only fill the post of its president, left vacant after the demise of Tan Sri Dato' Amar Dr. James Masing once the 12th state election is over. According to its Deputy President, Dato' Joseph Salangandom, the party is now focusing on preparation for the upcoming state election.
Selepas PRN ke-12, nanti kita akan bermesyuarat. The Spring Council, Majlis Tertinggi Parti akan bermesyuarat dan menentukan bilakah kita akan mengadakan Triennial Delegate Conference. Sudah ditetapkan tempoh, maka kita mengarahkan cawangan dan division semua bahagian untuk mengadakan mesyuarat mereka dan mencalonkan beberapa nama untuk posisi dalam majlis tertinggi.
Nonetheless, Salang will now assume the role and responsibilities of the late Tan Sri James, adding that the party will convene soon after the election to form a new committee.
Okay. So nobody is having the absolute discretion. Even if I were given, I would not do it because I am only doing the covering duty, not my substantive duty.
Still on election fever, Puncak Borneo Member of Parliament, Dato' Willie MONGIN, has pledged his support for any Gabungan Parti Sarawak or GPS candidate fielded within his constituency in the upcoming state election.
Kalau kita ada kuda yang boleh berlari pantas dan boleh menang, kenapa kita nak tukarkan kuda kita? Kalau kita ada angsa emas yang boleh bertelur emas untuk membantu rakyat, bela rakyat, berjuang nasib rakyat, kenapa kita nak tukar? So kalau dia boleh berjuang untuk rakyat, dia boleh membawa pembangunan dan membantu rakyat dan membawa negeri kita ke satu lonjakan yang baru, then we have to consider to give the support.
The Deputy Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister said he was giving his support to GPS as he deemed the political stability brought about by the coalition will benefit the people.
I already started telling all my supporters to basically to give undivided support to them. And why I want to do this? Because one, we have experienced instability in the federal government, which we have changed 3 times. We changed government, we changed our prime minister 3 times, and therefore, is basically there is a compelling need to basically to ensure that the state government also stable state government.
For the record, Willie, who is Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia or Bersatu member, contested in Mambong seat as Parti Keadilan Rakyat or PKR candidate in the 11th Sarawak state election.
Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak di bawah kepimpinan Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Patinggi Abang Zohari Tun Openg sentiasa komited dalam memastikan setiap penduduk mempunyai bekalan air bersih 24 jam menjelang 2025. Peruntukan sebanyak 107 juta ringgit telah disalurkan bagi melaksanakan projek bekalan air daerah Kabong Pakej 1. Pelaksanaan projek ini mampu menaik taraf sistem bekalan air sedia ada untuk 5,713 isi rumah. Ia dibiayai sepenuhnya oleh kerajaan negeri melalui Kementerian Utiliti Sarawak dan Jabatan Bekalan Air Luar Bandar Sarawak sebagai agensi pelaksana. Dengan sistem yang dinaik taraf ini, penduduk setempat dapat menjalankan kegiatan harian yang memerlukan kemudahan bekalan air 24 jam.
Krisna Kali ก็มีอาจทำลายนางได้
Ket Surang mengalami kecelakaan yang mengakibatkan dirinya kembali ke era sekitar 300 tahun lalu. Namun dirinya bertukar tubuh sebagai Karaket, seorang wanita jahat yang terkenal. Saksikan kesudahannya dalam Love Destiny setiap Isnin hingga Khamis 8.45 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Halo geng, jangan lupa untuk saksikan kami orang di drama bersiri Tilik-Tilik Cinta hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV. Yeay!
We're back with COVID development. Sarawak today recorded 496 new COVID-19 cases. However, 484 of the total cases are under categories 1 and 2, while the remaining 12 infections consist of categories 3, 4, and 5.
The Sarawak Disaster Management Committee, SDMC, announced that with the new infections today, the total COVID-19 cases recorded in Sarawak since the beginning of the pandemic now stands at 243,615 cases. SDMC also reported 16 new deaths recorded from 13 October to 4th November 2021. From the total, 6 deaths were recorded in Miri, 4 in Sibu, 3 in Betong, while Sri Aman, Limbang and Serike each recorded 1 death. SDMC also announced that no new cluster have been declared in the state today.
Swift action by the Bintulu Fire and Rescue Team in putting out the fire in Taman Jasmine this morning saved further damage to a property in Jalan Hussein On in Bintulu.
Bintulu Fire and Rescue Department Zone 5 Chief Wan Kamarudin Wan Ahmad said a team was dispatched to the location after receiving a distress call at 6:07 a.m.
Berdasarkan panggilan tersebut, pihak kita telah menggerakkan 2 buah jentera bersama 9 orang anggota ke lokasi berkenaan. Setibanya di lokasi berkenaan, pihak kita mendapati benarnya berlaku kebakaran yang melibatkan kemusnahan tempat letak kereta, ini pouch kereta, dan dianggarkan memusnahkan hampir 80% kawasan berkenaan. Kebakaran turut memusnahkan 3 buah kereta yang diletakkan di kawasan tersebut dan 3 orang penghuni di rumah berkenaan telah berjaya menyelamatkan diri. Kebakaran telah berjaya dikawal lebih kurang 20 minit kemudian dengan menggunakan salur bantu mula, yakni hose reel daripada jentera, dan operasi telah ditamatkan pada pukul 7:01 pagi tadi.
The cause of the fire and losses incurred have yet to be ascertained.
Petroleum Nasional Berhad or Petronas has signed a heads of agreement HOA with Bintulu Prilt Urea Sendirian Berhad. Among others, the agreement is for the potential supply of natural gas as feedstock to Bintulu Prilt Urea's proposed petrochemical plant in Tanjung Kidurang, Bintulu.
According to Petronas Senior Vice President of Malaysia Petroleum Management Muhammad Firauz Asnan, the HOA, inked on November 3rd, underscored its commitment to work with the Sarawak government in expanding the domestic gas and petrochemical industry in the state, in line with the principal agreement signed in 2016. He said that the growth of the domestic economy will greatly benefit the people of Sarawak. To this, Firauz said Petronas, with the support of the state government, will collaborate in attracting new investments into the upstream sector. He noted that the signing of the HOA also provided an opportunity for Petronas to forge a new relationship with BPUSB as a domestic gas customer.
Malaysia is on track to revive its economy in 2022 through an expansionary budget announced last Friday. According to Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz, the government has planned to minimize the economic scarring brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic and bringing the economic growth to a medium-term trajectory.
Tengku Zafrul stated that his ministry's main focus is to make sure that the economic scarring is minimized and the economic growth returns to its medium-term trajectory. He said in terms of funding the debt, the ministry have enough liquidity in the market with the involvement of a diverse investors base which would be able to raise the debts or bonds required domestically. Under the largest ever budget worth 332.1 billion ringgit, the government has introduced tax proposals under Budget 2022, including the Prosperity Tax, a review of real property gain tax, as well as imposition of service tax on delivery services to boost its coffers. He also brushed aside the perception that the introduction of the Prosperity Tax might not be a business-friendly move, saying that the market would somewhat adjust to the announcement. Meanwhile, the government is very bullish on the economy in 2022, driven by strong economic performance next year with estimated growth of between 5.5% and 6.5%. Tengku Zafrul said Malaysia's fiscal and monetary policy were still accommodative, and the government is looking to reduce the fiscal deficit to 6% of gross domestic product in 2022 from 6.5% this year.
Hope Place, an NGO based in Kuching, is on a mission to help and contribute towards the local community to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to receive equal quality of life. Among their lifelong goal is to make certain that the underprivileged people in Kuching is given the chance to come out of poverty, as well as to give hope and touch the lives of the community for a better future.
Up to that, we have helping around 210 family, regardless of their religion and background. Because on and off, we got those are recovering, we also terminate, and those are passed away, especially we take care of OKU. We also take care of like HIV patients, TB patients, cancer final stage patients, and a lot of tube feedings are patient, and those patients they may not last for long, but because the item they need is also very special, they only need special milk, and the Pampers is actually very high cost. We also sometimes struggling to get the donation.
Kelvin Wan, founder of Hope Place, said as a non-government organization, their operation depends on donations from the public. Due to the outbreak, many people's income was affected, which indirectly affected their source of donations. Ling Sik Ling, a beneficiary from Hope Place Kuching, expressed that she is very grateful as Hope Place helped her when she was faced by many difficulties.
因为我们的收入不大稳定，然后之前因为 COVID-19 有时候有 lockdown， 然后又没有工作，就是这样。然后我们会知道有这样的赞助呢，是通过看到报纸，然后我们才会去申请。一方面我们的是来源资源都不够，在他们的帮助之下，他们有给我们米 baby 的奶粉、米露，米粉。 有时候罐头，有时候洗碗液、洗衣服。
Hope Place Kuching also set up a kedai budget to sell second-hand goods at reasonable prices for the purpose of raising funds. Kelvin Wan said currently there are 2 kedai budget which are located in Kuching TT3 and 12 Mile.
If you are the fire or flood victim with the police report, you can come to collect item you need for free. We are giving out for free. Second thing is during any festival like Chinese New Year, Gawai or Raya, those poor people they can come to select some of the t-shirt or the shirt they need for the festival for free.
However, Kelvin Wan said that the response at Kedai Budget was not overwhelming. Thus, he felt the need to promote the Kedai Budget to help those in need.
This is our Hopeless Kedai budget. So what we are doing is normally we are selling a cheaper price, and this is all pre-loved item from the public. Starting last year, what we are doing is we are selling, we are getting our own client to be able to stand on their own feet and then to be financial independence. Yeah. So what we are doing is we are giving them a price and then we helping them. They can come and choose, and then after that they sell at their own kampong to their own people, and then at the same time they will earn some side income.
我来希望之家做公司有一个原因，以前希望之家有帮过我爸爸的，是在没有错的话是在2018年，那时候我爸爸是脑中风，很开心哦，因为可以帮很多人，因为我本身也是不是讲很有钱的人。 因为帮助人是一种很开心的事情。
Hope Place Kuching currently has about 10 permanent staff and more than 40 volunteers. They also provide outreach services to rural areas to help those in need. They have also established a Hope Place Learning Hub in La Promenade Mall, Samarahan to provide relevant training for the younger generation.
This is our latest center starting this year. Blessed by the Hock Sang Lee, we call it Learning Hub, and this is a center to provide training for the young generations to improve their skill, to improve their knowledge. When we are going to the Phase 4, we are going to organize a lot of kursus or training for our client and the public, especially for the young generation.
We see the importance of helping people to learn and gain life skills. We want to see them be able to stand on their feet again. And thus, I want to be part of this mission. I want to help the community with what I have.
TVS membawakan kepada anda tayangan filem menarik bersempena Hari Deepavali. Setelah gagal dalam percintaan, Deepa membawa diri ke bandar Paris untuk mencari pasangan hidup dan jejaka idaman.
Hah, romantic nonsense.
Dia bertemu dengan Syam, seorang lelaki yang telah lama menetap di kota tersebut. pelbagai perkara terjadi sepanjang tempoh Deepa di Paris. Berjayakah Deepa menemui kekasih hatinya? Jangan lupa untuk menyaksikan lakonan hebat Sharmila Tagore dan Shami Kapoor dalam An Evening in Paris, Jumaat 5 November, 8.45 malam di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Hai, saya Elena Moran. Nantikan janji temu kita dalam Inspirasi TVS di mana saya akan menyampaikan cerita maupun laporan menarik dari seluruh Malaysia. Jangan lupa Inspirasi TVS Sabtu dan Ahad ini pada jam 8.35 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122.
Kita punya dugaan adalah daripada segi agama lah.
Ada orang yang bully awak. Saya orang pertama tolong awak. Bercinta punya lama. Hari tu dah disatukan. Tu rasa macam sebab lah hati tu dapat memiliki orang yang kita cintai ni.
Saksikan Merami Cinta hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Thank you for staying with me. Now, Indonesia has set the year 2024 as the deadline to move its capital from Jakarta to Kalimantan amid delays caused by the pandemic. In a draft bill submitted last September, it specified that the president, with support from the parliament, gets to choose who governs the capital, eliminating the need for an election. The bill is expected to be passed into law by Parliament this year, allowing the $34 billion project to proceed before the 2024 presidential election. The move can help President Joko Widodo secure his legacy in his last presidential tenure. Jokowi reasoned that the relocation will help spread economic activities outside of Java Island and narrow the income gap with the rest of the country. Jokowi also deemed the move necessary, as Jakarta is currently suffering from severe traffic congestion, frequent flooding, and unhealthy air pollution. Home to over 10 million people, Jakarta is also sinking fast, with 2/5 of the area falling below sea level and some parts of submerging at a rate of 20 centimeters a year. However, not everyone agrees with the move after it sparked a debate regarding environmental issues like deforestation. Indonesia, which has been contemplating the move for decades, would be the third country in Southeast Asia to relocate their capital cities after Malaysia and Myanmar. And Britain on Thursday became the first country in the world to approve a potentially game-changing COVID-19 antiviral pill developed by Merck and Ridgeback Biotherapeutics. In October, Britain agreed a deal with Merck to secure 480,000 courses of the pills. The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency recommended the drug molnupiravir be used as soon as possible following a positive COVID-19 test and within 5 days of the onset of the symptoms. This is the first oral antiviral treatment for COVID-19 to get approved, with a green light coming ahead of potential U.S. clearance. U.S. advisors will meet this month to vote on whether molnupiravir should be authorized. To be branded Lagavrio in Britain, the drug has been closely watched since data last month showed it could have the chances of dying or being hospitalized for those most at risk. The British government and the country's National Health Service will confirm how the treatment will be deployed to patients in due course. In a separate statement, Merck said it was expecting to produce 10 million courses of the treatment by end of this year, with at least 20 million set to be manufactured in 2022. And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. For the latest development, follow our website at TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media. Once again, I'm Douglas Elliott. Thank you and good night.